Hey, welcome back to another episode of the She's Making an Impact podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Ngom. Let's talk about secrets to creating a $1 million funnel. If you're watching the live stream, let me know. Do you want to have $1 million funnel? And what would be the possibilities? What would you be able to do if you had $1 million funnel? What would you be able to do? You can see, if you're watching the video, you can see we have gotten our a little plaque from ClickFunnels for our $1 million funnel. And the day that came in, it was such a fun day. TJ, my son, helped me unbox it, and it was one of those things of we worked really hard to make it happen. We worked smartly to make it happen. And so I have a list of 9 things here that I wanted to share with you of what does it actually take to create $1 million funnel? Because it didn't happen overnight, and it definitely took a lot of strategy and different things to make that happen. So let's dive in. Thing 1 is funnel hacking. And so this is a lot of the funnel stuff I've learned from Russell Brunson. He is he's the dude that created the whole thing. So I highly recommend all of his books. They're all great. .com Secrets, Expert Secrets, Traffic Secrets. Awesome books. So one of the things Russell talks about is actually go look at other people's funnels and see what did they do. And not that you're going to copy it directly, but you're going to look at other people's funnels and say, okay, they have a call to action above the fold and it's in a bright color. Could I do something similar? Or they have a piece of copy that asks a direct question, a headline, how to X without blank. Can I use a similar style of headline, how to whatever your promise is, right? Without whatever your people don't want. And so look at people that have successful funnels. This is what I've done for our summit, the Smarter Income Stream funnel, and it converts at 80% or something crazy. So I don't just come up with it on my own. I look at what have other people do that are really successful in this industry, and I look at their funnel and I just study it. And I'm like, okay, what are some of the elements they have in place here? Not that I'm going to copy it, but can I take some of these elements and implement it into my own funnel? If you're one of our students and you're working with us inside of Activate, or we're working together privately, you actually have to clone all of our funnels, including our $1 million funnel. So that's a huge perk. So you don't have to start from scratch. But if you want to create $1 million funnel, don't start from scratch. Look at what other people have done before you. Look at some of the elements and say, can I tweak this? Can I make it my own? Okay. So that's 1, funnel hack. 2, rinse and repeat. So we've used this. So we have multiple funnels, but not multiple programs. So our $1 million funnel, I basically created the offer, created the funnel, and it's just a matter of, could we do the webinar over and over and over again and just make it better each and every time we do it? And so I'm not going in and creating a new offer and testing a brand new offer. So I think this is where a lot of people get stuck. It's they do some kind of an offer and it's crickets on people don't buy. And so you're like, oh no, I have to create a whole new offer. No. It's not the offer. It's the messaging around the offer, how you're articulating the offer. And so it's just a matter of really nailing the messaging and making it a little bit better every single time you do it. I'm continuing to look at our Pinterest funnel. That's the funnel that has done over $1 million, and saying, how could I make this better? I hired Colin Boyd, which I'm interviewing him for the podcast again tomorrow, I think. He's an expert in creating offers and creating webinars and selling from stage. And so I hired him to look at our funnel and say, hey, what are we where can we improve this? How can we make this even better? And so it's don't create one from scratch. Just look at, how can I make it better? How could I make it better? How could I make it better? And rinse and repeat it. Okay. Number 3, start before you're ready. Please start before you're ready. It's never going to be perfect. You're never going to feel like you're ready to do the webinar, to do the presentation, to do the thing, to do the challenge. You never feel ready. It's just rip the Band-Aid off and go. And every time you do it, you're going to get better. You're going to feel more confident. Just do the thing. You're never going to feel ready. Just do the thing. Okay. And if nobody shows up, okay. If one person shows up, awesome. Help that one person. And then they're going to bring more people. And then you get to grow and grow and grow. Okay. Number 4, help your people get results so you can get great testimonials. Okay, that's what really helps your presentations, your webinars, your funnels. Have great testimonials. In the beginning, when I was, doing my funnel with Pin with Purpose, I only had my own testimonial. But then as I was able to help more students, I'm like, we have so many testimonials of who we've been able to help with that program, of them being able to double their traffic, double their list, triple their sales, whatever it is. So as you help more people, just make your focus. Oh, always make your focus. How can I help more people? And then you'll have great testimonials, and then you can use that in your funnels, and that is excellente. Something that actually Colin was helping me with. I can't wait for you to hear our episode tomorrow. And then I think he's actually doing a live workshop coming up. So that will be awesome. He's like, you have great testimonials. Can we turn these into case studies? Because case studies are going to convert better than testimonials. I'm like, this is why I hired you, dude. Like, you're good. You're good. So help people get results and turn those testimonials into case studies. That is what I learned from Colin. Always learning, always growing. That's why I say start before you're ready. Because if I waited until I had all this stuff figured out, I wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have $1 million funnel. So start before you're ready. Don't get shiny object syndrome. And so that means don't go hopping from like, oh, I want to create this. Oh, I want to create this. I want to do this thing. I want to do this next. Focus on one thing. So something Russell said that really stuck with me is focus on one funnel. Make that funnel, create $1 million funnel. Once that funnel makes $1 million, then you can create funnel number 2. And so we're going to create funnel number 2. We've done well over $1 million. We helped over 2,700 students, I believe, go through that program, Pin with Purpose. And we're not going to launch funnel number 2, our next program, which I'm so excited about. It's going to be, I need a title for this. So if you have a good title, I would love to know. It's going to be basically how I structure my business and my time in my business so I can work 20 hours a week or less. And so what are the systems that we have in place? What's the team? How all the things around, just structure systems so you can have a business that gives you more freedom. So that's the course and the offer that's coming out next year that I'm very excited about. So if you have any title ideas, let me know. But that program's going to impact a lot of people, because that's one of the things I hear over and over and over again is entrepreneurship is overwhelming and there's not enough time in the day. And I'm like, let me show you, because after I'm done with this, I'm going to go out and play, because we had a hurricane here and the kids still don't have school. So we're going to the park and it's going to be great. Okay, next, know your numbers. This is huge. Anytime you do anything in your business, you have to know your numbers. And I have been obsessed with this, of every time we do a webinar, we do a launch, anything, we have a spreadsheet and we're looking at our numbers. I was actually just working with a client. She just did a launch and I'm like, I have to know your numbers to know what can we improve upon for next time. And as I'm looking at her numbers, I'm like, you had a great amount of registrants. This was awesome, but your show up rate, this is where, like, this is what we can really improve upon next. And so by knowing your numbers, this is something we dive in deeper. Like when I'm working with people, we have a whole spreadsheet that we work through of what, like, how many people did you have registered for the thing? If you put Facebook ad money, how much money did you spend? What was your cost per lead? What was your earnings per lead? So how much did you make per lead that came in? What was your show up rate? So ideally we want a 30% show up rate. If we're not getting 30%, then we need to look at that. We got to tweak that. There's a lot of different elements that we can put in place. That could be a whole other episode. How do we get 30% show up rate? Because we do a lot and we send a lot of emails, texts, even voicemails, because especially in this day and age, getting 30% can be hard. But if you want to hit your numbers, you got to aim for 30%. And we do pretty well. So I can share that with you too. Show up rate. How many people bought live? How many people paid in full? How many people bought after? And so if nobody buys live, then we need to offer some kind of like a fast action bonus to incentivize people to take action in the moment. If everyone's doing payment plans, then we need to offer some kind of pay in full bonus. So these are, I mean, there's a bunch more that we could look at, but these are all the different metrics that we need to look at every single time people are going through this funnel. And that way you can really optimize the funnel, right? Instead of looking at like, oh, people didn't buy, we don't look at they didn't buy, we look at why. Like, did they not show up? Did they not see the offer? Did we not offer good bonuses? All these things are things that we can look at so we can improve upon it and make it better. Okay. I could tell you, so how many times have I done the webinar this webinar. I remember one time, like, I did the webinar and nobody bought live. And I was just like, oh gosh, this was probably close to 5 years ago, like more than 4 years ago. And I was just like gutted. I was like, oh my gosh, I gave my heart and soul and nobody bought live. And I remember I took like the rest of the day off and just binge watched TV in bed because I was so emotionally attached to the outcome, which work on your leadership so that doesn't happen. I've worked on it a lot now, so I don't get so emotionally attached to the outcome. And I get curious of like, they didn't pay and they didn't buy on the webinar. Why didn't they buy? So get curious instead of, drowning your sorrows in reality TV in bed, like I did. But you learn and you grow and you get better. And so I got curious after that, after my little pity party, on why did nobody buy? And so I'm like, oh, I didn't offer any fast action bonus or any incentive for them to actually buy right then and there in that moment. And so that's something we do in every webinar or every challenge or funnel or whatever it is. Fast action bonus, like 15 minutes to take action, you'll get access to this, or the first 5 who register get access to this. That was a long-winded way to say know your numbers. Know your numbers. And then scale. So look, once you know your numbers and hey, this is working. So we're looking at our webinar. Hey, we're seeing like 170% ROI. Our cost per lead is $8. Our earnings per lead is $13 or $14. So basically every time you put in $1 out comes like, I don't know, math, $1.50-ish, something like that. So you want to spend more if it's going to, think of it like a little slot machine, right? So it's like, how can we scale and spend more money? So that's what, like, if you're making money, you want to keep spending money. So we spend ridiculous amount of money on Facebook ads because it's like, if it's working, why would you stop? It's like, how can we add more fuel to the fire? Because it's working. Next thing, and is this helpful? Are you taking notes? I hope this is helpful. Add upsells, add downsells, and test price points. So I've tested so many different price points and also like days and times. If you're doing like a live webinar, test what day works best, what time works best. There's so many different things that you can test within this funnel. You can test the headline, you can test having a video, not having a video, but test having upsells and downsells. So like, what would be a complimentary offer to it? Could you add it as an upsell? Could you add something as a downsell for people who do not buy? Okay. And then test the price point. So, you could test $297, $397, $497, $997. We typically don't do anything between $497 and $997 just because if someone's going to pay $597 or $697, they'll probably end up paying $997. Just like, these are things, if you start looking at other people's funnels and start funnel hacking, you'll start to notice like different price points. Like, why does everyone use something that ends in a 7? Because 7s convert better. And so it's just a matter of like, open the eyes, start being aware of the marketing that's going on around you and start looking, okay, these people are doing really well. All of their numbers are ending in a 7. They're selling a $297, $1997, $29.97 price point or whatever it is. So test it out and get coaching. So like, I didn't come up with the idea of Pin with Purpose on my own. I had a coach that helped me. And she helped me with my funnel when I was first getting started. And I had no idea about ClickFunnels or any of those things. Like, I was a little baby back then, 5 years ago when I started. If I didn't have her to help me and show me this is what you need to do, this is the next step, I wouldn't be here today. So get help, which leads perfectly into go to helpmecoachnow.com if you're like, I need help, and you can book a free coaching session with one of our advisors. So get help in doing this. Don't try to figure it out on your own. Building $1 million empire, I don't know anyone that's done it on their own. Everyone that has had some level of success, they look for someone who's done it before them. And they say, I want to compress time. I don't want to waste a year, 2 years, 3 years of my life trying to figure this out on my own. I want to find someone who's done it before me so I can learn from them. They've already made all the mistakes, and then fast track it. So if you want to fast track it, just go to helpmecoachnow.com so we can support you. And I would love to know, what was your biggest takeaway from this? Either comment below or you can shoot me a DM on Instagram at She's Making an Impact. Have a wonderful day, and we'll talk soon. Bye.